The story of Amaka, Obioma, and the Forbidden River. Living amid undulating hills and rich trees in the center of Alaoma, a quiet Igbo hamlet, was a young woman called Amaka. Amaka was the pride of her family. She was beautiful, sweet, and wise beyond her years. Her laughter delighted everyone who knew her. It was like the sound of 1,000 birds tweeting. But Amaka, being the only child of her family, before the weight of their future on her shoulders behind her facade. Amaka had grown up next to a young, courageous, and diligent guy called Obioma. Many people in the hamlet praised him for his power and will. He was a competent hunter and farmer. From onset, Obioma and Amaka had been inseparable. With time, their relationship developed into much more. Their love was pure, unbroken, and ordained by the gods. However, their love was not without challenges. There was another guy in the community, Chike, who also coveted Amaka's hand in marriage. Chike was the son of a rich and important man. He was known for his arrogance and devious ways. He had always felt entitled to the finest of everything in the community, and in his opinion, Amaka was no different. Chike's pride would prevent him from saying that Amaka had chosen Obioma, a guy from a low-income family, over him. One evening, Chike's father, Eda Ofo, invited his son to their compound and said, "My son, you cannot let that commoner, Obioma, take what rightfully belongs to you. You must act, and you must act swiftly." Chike nodded, a plan already formulating in his head. He will not only capture Amaka for himself, but he will ruin Obioma in the process. And so, he concocted a strategy that would rip the hamlet apart. As it was the custom in Alaoma, each young man seeking to marry had to give his prospective wife a unique gift, sanctified by the gods. This gift had to be collected from the Forgotten River, a holy site deep in the forest, thought to have enormous power. However, the river was also cursed. Many had entered the forest in pursuit of its riches, but only a few had returned, and even fewer had their brains intact. Obioma, desperate to show his love for Amaka, prepared to undertake the dangerous journey to the Forgotten River. But unbeknownst to him, Chike had already taken measures to ruin his mission. With the aid of a few deceptive friends and a corrupt priest, Chike intended to lead Obioma into a terrible trap. So the night before Obioma went off, Chike visited Amaka's house. He knelt before her parents, seeming to be overwhelmed with compassion. "Oh, I fear for Obioma's life," he stated. "The forest is dangerous, and the curse of the Forgotten River is real. If anything happens to him, Alaoma will lose one of its best men." Amaka, recognizing Chike's insincerity, sought to reject him, but apparently listened closely. "What do you suggest?" her father asked. "I will go with Obioma," Chike said. "I will protect him and ensure he returns safely. After all, I also care about Amaka and hope only for her happiness." Though Amaka felt apprehensive, Obioma accepted Chike's offer, believing it was a genuine gesture of compassion. The following morning, the two young men set out toward the forgotten river, ignorant of the evil that awaited them. Have you subscribed to our channel yet? Please encourage us by subscribing to our channel to see more interesting story like this. Thanks and God bless you as you do so. So let's continue the story. As they walked further into the jungle, Obioma started to observe unusual occurrences. The trail appeared to twist and bend in ways that made no sense, and the air became colder with each step. Chike, strolling slightly ahead, continued pressing him onward. By lunchtime, they arrived at the brink of the forgotten river. The water shimmered oddly, generating an unearthly brightness that both fascinated and scared Obioma. Suddenly, Ike paused and looked at Obioma with a malicious smile. "This is where your journey ends," Chike replied, his voice dripping with hatred. Before Obioma could respond, Chike summoned the corrupt chief priest. When he arrived, Chike fought very hard with Obioma. He finally pushed him into the forgotten river. Chike was so happy. He believed he has won the battle. But on his way back home, the gods of the land finally intervened. The chief priest sent by Chike was struck dead, while Chike himself was lost in the forest without returning home. In the forgotten river, Obioma found the special gift he was supposed to present to his wife, and he finally returned back home. Months later, everyone was worried concerning the disappearance of Chike, most especially his father. His thought was that Obioma had killed his son. Eda Ofo is already plotting evil concerning Obioma. He wanted to charge him for treason. He reported the matter to the Council of Elders so that they would present the matter to the Igwe. But after some months, Chike stood in the town square, breathing hard. His formerly gorgeous face was now damaged, his clothing ripped and coated with grime. The people who had long thought him to be dead mumbled in astonishment. Some were afraid, while others were delighted with curiosity. So, what could he possibly disclose after being gone for so long? Obioma, standing at the altar behind Amaka, felt a chilly shudder go down his spine. He had just avoided death in the wilderness, and now here was Chike returned from the
highlifeng.com.
dead with some mysterious revelation. Amaka grasped Obioma's hand firmly, her eyes wide with dread and confusion. "Chike," Eda of four, Chike's father shouted, rushing forward to his son. "Where have you been? What happened to you?" But Chike shoved his father aside. His stare was fixated on Obioma and Amaka, and the anger in his eyes was evident. Slowly, he started to speak, his voice low and full of malice. "You all believe Obioma to be the hero of this tale?" Chike said, addressing the crowd. "You celebrate him for his bravery, for bringing back the gate from the forgotten river. But what if I told you that He did not acquire that gift via heroism or courage. What if I told you that he too deceived you all? A gasp ran across the throng. Obioma's heart was hammered in his chest. What may Chike mean? He had confronted the ghost of the river and returned with a magical stone. What trickery was Chike referring to? Lies! Obioma shouted. Stepping forward, you tried to kill me in the forest. Chike, you and your soldiers planned against me, and the ghosts themselves intervened to end your trickery. What trickery are you playing now? Chike chuckled darkly, a sound that sent shivers through the audience. Yes, I did plot against you, and for that I was punished. The river spirit drew me to the depths, and I have seen things, truths you could never comprehend. But do you honestly believe the gods favor you, Obioma? Do you believe they choose you out of purity of heart? No, the gods have their reasons, and you are nothing but a piece in a much broader game. Amaka, frightened, went forward. What are you saying, Chike?
highlifeng.com.
What truth could affect what we have? Obioma is a nice man. He has never deceived me. Chike's eyes softened as he gazed at Amaka, but his voice remained stern. I speak not of betrayal in love, Amaka, but a betrayal of blood. There's a mystery about Obioma that not even he knows. His ancestry is cursed, and his fate was sealed long before any of us was born. The people grasped again, and Obioma's face became pale. What are you talking about? My family has always been respectable. I came from a family of renowned hunters and farmers. What plague would be upon us? Chike aimed a shaky finger toward Obioma. Your father, the man you believe to be your father, is not who you think he is. Your actual father was a man who violated the holy river many years ago, and for his crime, the gods cursed his lineage. The curse descend to the firstborn son of each generation, and now it lies upon you, Obioma. You are doomed, and everyone around you will suffer because of it. Silence descended over the village. The weight of Chike's remarks hovered in the air like a thick cloud. Obioma's thoughts raced. Could it be true? Could his whole existence be founded on a lie? He never questioned his paternity. Had never sensed anything out of this. No. But the ferocity in Chike's speech made him wonder all he had ever known. Eda Ofo, still standing close to his son, moved forward again. This is correct, he shouted. Chike, you are right, my son. Obioma, can you reveal your true father to us? But Chike shook his head. You can dismiss my words if you want, but the truth will reveal itself soon enough. Because it's already at work. Ask yourself, why was the landlord slain instead of Obioma? Why has darkness accompanied him since his return from the forest? At this point, the people started to whisper among themselves. They had all heard about the odd circumstances surrounding the landlord's death. Would there be truth in Chike's word? Amaka, with tears in her eyes, turned down to Obioma. Obioma, tell me it's not true. Tell me there's no cause. But Obioma couldn't respond. He felt the world whirling around him. The spirit of the river had told him that treachery still lurked in the shadows, but he had never believed that the betrayal would come from his lineage. Chike, noting the skepticism in Obioma's eyes, pushed on. There is only one way to break the curse, Obioma. You must return to the river and give a sacrifice to the gods. But the sacrifice they demand is neither an animal nor a piece of gold. They demand the life of someone you love. Obioma's heart stopped. The peasants gasped in fear. Amaka, her face pale as the moon, took a step back, recognizing the seriousness of Chike's remarks. Chike's smirk was harsh as he added, "The choice is yours, Obioma. Will you sacrifice Amaka to release yourself from the curse? Or will you watch as everything you love is destroyed?" Obioma stood paralyzed, his head a swell of terror and bewilderment. The people gazed at him, waiting for his choice. Amaka's eyes, full of love and horror, locked with him. Suddenly, without warning, a huge clap of thunder rang across the sky, and black clouds started to amass above everything. The axe rocked under their boots, and the sound of rushing water could be heard in the distance. "The river!" someone shouted. "The river is rising!" Panic swept over the community as the previously serene, forgotten river started to swell, its waters rushing towards the settlement like a tidal wave. The people raced to escape, but Obioma and Amaka remained there, locked in their moment, their destinies hanging in the balance. Chike smiled maniacally as he roared around him. The gods are Obioma. What will you do now? Obioma glanced at Amaka, his heart hurting. The option was apparent, but it was no one should ever have make. The river spirit's warning resonated in his head, and he recognized that this time had been foreseen from the beginning. But as the water rushed closer, Obioma made his choice. He took Amaka's hand and murmured, "I will never sacrifice you." Together they turned their face to the rising deluge, their love standing as the only thing between them and the wrath of the gods. And suddenly, just as the torrent were ready to swallow them whole, the river stopped, frozen in the mid-surge. The cloud parted, and a terrible quiet settled over the settlement. From the water, the river spirit appeared once again, its eyes shining with an old power. It peered down at Obioma and Amaka, and then at Chike, who was shaking in horror. "The gods have spoken," the ghost cried, its voice like the fury of 1,000 hurricanes. But this tale is not yet over. Have you subscribed to our channel yet? Please encourage us by subscribing to our channel to see more interesting God bless you. With a sweep of its hand, the ghost withdrew, leaving the community in eerie quiet. The water eventually faded, but the tension remained. What did the spirit mean? What destiny awaited Obioma and Amaka? And what part would Chike play in the developing events? No one knew, but one thing was certain: the curse of the forgotten river had not yet been removed, and the ultimate test was yet to come. The community remained utterly quiet following the spirit's departure. The people, astonished by the odd happenings, started to mumble among themselves, staring wearily at Obioma, Amaka, and Chike. Though the flood had retreated and the storm had gone, a heavy sense remained in the air as if something was still to come. Obioma clutched Amaka tight, his pulse pumping. The words of the river spirit rang in his mind. This tale is not yet over. What else could the gods possibly want from him? He had refused to sacrifice Amaka, and now, despite the seeming peace, the weight of an approaching disaster hung heavy on his chest. Chike, in the meantime, was not done. His visage, contorted with bitterness, betrayed no hint of sorrow. He glanced at Obioma with a malicious sneer, knowing that the gods' game was far from done. That night, the village council conducted an emergency meeting on the Obi's property. The elders sat in a circle, their features lit by the flickering light of oil lamps. The tension was evident as they deliberated on what to do next. Elder Alfo, still shocked by his son's return and the truth he had given, was the first to speak. We cannot ignore the warnings of the river spirit, he added, his voice solemn, but we must also consider the possibility that has been corrupted by this time with the spirit. His statement may be polluted with lies. Another elder, Nneka, shook her head, but the river spirit itself spoke of her. Chike's homecoming may have been planned by powers beyond her comprehension, and if what Chike claims about Obioma's lineage is accurate, then we are all in terrible danger. The room slipped into awkward stillness. What if Obioma is indeed cursed? One of the younger elders, Ugo, ventured. If we allow him to stay in the village, we may all suffer the wrath of the gods.